preschool meal programs to help children have at least one nutritious meal a day. Ayubowan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum. A very warm welcome to all of you and to everyone who has joined us online through the live streaming of this special event. Today, World Vision marks the official launch of the Enough campaign in Sri Lanka and in the Asia-Pacific region. Why are we here saying enough? There is a silent emergency gripping our globe and our nations, robbing our children of their future. We are in a global food crisis. Our food systems are broken. Mountains of food are thrown away every single day, whilst at the same time, many children are going hungry. I'm told that every person, or if every person in Sri Lanka wasted just 1 grain of rice from their meal, we have wasted enough rice that would have served a midday meal for 7,000 children. If we have enough food to waste, how are there hungry children? It is heartbreaking. Yes, I know a lot has been done over the years to address child hunger and malnutrition. I'm not denying that, and we have made tremendous progress in the years gone by. The decline in child deaths due to hunger over the past decades is a testament to these efforts. But right now, child hunger levels are at the worst they have been in generations because of conflict, climate change, and COVID, the 3 Cs. The post-COVID economies have made it even worse for basic food being affordable to many families, or being made unaffordable to many families. Hunger not only affects the health and nutrition of children, it also brings other risks, as we saw in this particular video. Many will be at the risk of dropping out of school. Some are being forced to work to support the family income, and some are being married off or given away or sent to institutions because the family can no longer afford to feed them. So we are here because we have had enough. It's time for action, unified and united action. And the Enough campaign is a call to all of us to join forces against this silent emergency. World Vision wants to address child hunger and malnutrition head-on here in Sri Lanka and also in Asia Pacific. This is a problem with a solution. We don't need complicated interventions to solve it. All we need is food and the right kind of food. When a child has access to healthy meals, they develop the needed immunity to fight disease, enough support to grow in health, and enough stamina to play, to explore, to learn, and to reach their fullest potential. World Vision is already on the ground working towards this, and some of our partners here would testify to our work. We are strengthening school and preschool meal programs to help children have at least one nutritious meal a day. We introduce climate-resilient and nutrition-sensitive home gardens to vulnerable families so that they have year-round access to nutrition. We promote climate-smart agriculture among farmers, providing them with tools, seeds, and knowledge. We implement behavior change nutritional programs that improves the nutrition of under 5 children, or children aged under 5, lactating mothers and pregnant women with the local authorities. We strengthen mother support groups so that the community can be empowered to take care of their own mothers and their own children. The cost of these interventions is much smaller compared to the impact they bring. So the next 3 years, we'll be focusing more intentionally towards ending hunger and improving nutrition among children. Throughout the campaign, we have got 2 main goals. The first one is simple: to ensure that children are better fed, nourished, and more resilient. Secondly, we want children who are experiencing hunger and malnutrition to be visible and heard and prioritized for funding and policy. A World Vision leader once said, "Poverty is not a concept, it is a person." The same can be said about hunger right now. There are concepts and definitions of hunger, but hunger right now is the name of a child, the face of a child. So children themselves will be at the forefront of this effort, of this campaign. And that's one of the reasons why we will also be hearing from a child advocate today. I'm so grateful for all of you for being here today, for your commitment, your dedication, for your partnership, for making the time to hear our message. World Vision has had the privilege of working closely with many of you. The ministries, the peer organizations, the partners, to improve the well-being of the most vulnerable children in the past. Together, we have multiplied our impact on their lives. Once again, we extend our hand of partnership. Let us leverage our expertise, share knowledge, and act collectively to bring an end to child hunger and malnutrition. There's enough if we care enough. No child will suffer from hunger if we all act now. Thank you.
With that, I would like to very cordially invite one of the most important ministries to this campaign is the Ministry of Health. And so my next invitation goes to the Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Ramesh Patirana, to address the gathering.
Let me at the outset thank, on behalf of the Ministry of Health, the World Vision and its supporting agencies, the contribution they've done over a period of time in relation to different activities that they have conducted in Sri Lanka. It's a great pleasure for me here today to be here standing in support of this Enough campaign, indicating the Zero Child Hunger, which is a global campaign that we are launching in this region. World Vision has been part and parcel of a lot of activities in Sri Lanka, starting from nutritional programs, educational programs, and also infrastructure development programs as well. Sri Lanka and also the global context covering this subject, as highlighted by your country representative, indicates 3 scenarios: COVID, conflict, and crisis, possibly the economic crisis of the world, and especially the economic crisis that we have faced. COVID was a global scenario. Whole world was enveloped in COVID pandemic. I would be failing in my duties unless I highlight the fact that during time of COVID, Sri Lankan people, the government, and the health sector were very resilient in relation to response that we provided to COVID scenario. Thanks to that response, as against the population of the country, our case rates were much lower. Our case fatality rates were also much lower. We conducted one of the best vaccination campaigns in the world. But coming out from COVID, we encountered this economic crisis. We are coming out from that economic crisis also faster than anybody anticipated, thanks to support from multilateral agencies, friendly countries including India, and also the people of the country stood up to that challenge. We are coming out from that gradually. During that particular period of time, we have to acknowledge the fact that Sri Lankan people had to go through hardships, especially children of the country. The situation in relation to nutrition was deteriorating, even though the successive governments of the country had provided many different programs, forwarded many different programs in assisting people of the country, starting from post-independent era. We were a little backward in 22 and also during the first 2 quarters of 2023. If I may recall some numbers, at the time of gaining independence from the Britishers in 1948, our country had 6.3 million population. And in 1952, we had to enter into an agreement with government of China then. There's a famous agreement, that is Rubber Rice Pact of Sri Lanka, because Sri Lankan government didn't have sufficient rice to feed its population, 6.3 million people, because we didn't cultivate enough. So we had to exchange rubber for rice. The things were gradually changing in 1960s with the Green Revolution. And also, there's a marked improvement in the Sri Lankan agricultural sector after we introduced fertilizer subsidy to this country. Now, we feed 21 million population. We have a rice surplus. Honorable Agriculture Minister would indicate about the numbers. And also, we do import certain items, but those varieties are not grown in Sri Lanka. So we are more or less providing growing sufficient quantities. But I have to acknowledge the fact that there is the maldistribution of food amongst different sectors. As you correctly know, those concerns we have to address. That's why this Enough campaign is launched globally, and whatever that you may require, whatever the support that you may require from the Ministry of Health, please be assured we would provide nothing but the best to your campaign. And also, about the numbers, we know that in 2022, during fourth quarter 2022, our estimates were there were about 15,000 children were suffering from severe acute malnutrition, SAM. As for the estimates that we have done in first quarter of 2024, the numbers have come down to nearly 11,500, and those are going down quite rapidly. Thanks to the support from the government and also the other stakeholders, including UNICEF, and also the UNIDO, and also the other organizations those have come forward to support the health sector activities. So I take this opportunity again to thank everyone who is spearheading this campaign and also who had come forward to support the Sri Lankan people at time of need. Friends in need are the friends indeed. So I thank all of you again, and I look forward to seeing you about this campaign to associate you more closely. And also, I wish you all the best in all your activities. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day ahead.
Sri Lanka has 20 plus million people. Of said 20 plus million people, an estimated 3.9 million people face food insecurity. Of that, 2.9 million children are in need of urgent humanitarian assistance, because Sri Lanka has the second highest rate of acute malnutrition among children under 5 in South Asia. And so it is to these people, this category of Sri Lankans, that we must turn to if we need to know the ground level situation. Which is why World Vision Sri Lanka and World Vision in general wants to amplify children's voices, because it is them that we must empower if we are going to move forward in this campaign to end child malnutrition. So allow me to introduce to you Nivartana Situmini. She's 17. She's from the northwestern province of Sri Lanka, in the arid zones of the country. She's currently studying for her advanced levels at the Kalevava Vijay Mahavidyalaya in Anamadua. From the age of 12, she's been engaged in humanitarian work, in community engagement, in other leadership facets. Currently, she is the president of the District Children's Federation and a committee member of the National Child Federation. She's very passionate about advocating for these issues. So we have invited Nivartana Sithimini here to speak to you. Now, Nivartana will speak in her mother tongue, in Sinhala. Therefore, I would like to remind you once more that translation units are available for anybody who needs it. They're at the registration desk. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our child leader, Nivartana Sithimini.
ඉවත දමන දණ්ඩක් වුවත් පැලවෙනා වූ පින්බිම. පෙරදිග ධාන්‍යාගාරයයි විරුදාවලීලත් අපේ රට පුරාවටම වර්තමානයේ වෙනකොට අස්සක් මුල්ලක් නෑර කන ගැටෙන එකම වචනේ තමයි මන්ද පෝෂණය කියලා කියන්නේ. ලංකාවේ ජීවත් වන මිනිසුන් අතර පැතිර පවතිනා වූ දුප්පත්කම නිසාම මිනිස් ජීවිතවලට දයාද කරපු අතුරු ප්‍රතිඵල අතරින් පළවෙනි එක තමයි මන්ද පෝෂණය කියලා කියන්නේ. ඇත්තටම මන්ද පෝෂණය කියලා කියන්නේ ප්‍රමාණවත් තරම් පෝෂ්‍ය පදාර්ථයන් ශරීරයට නොලැබීම මත ඇතිවන ප්‍රධානතම කායික දුර්වලතාවයට. ප්‍රමාණවත් තරම් පෝෂ්‍ය පදාර්ථයන් ශරීරයට නොලැබීම වගේම වැරදි ආකාරයේ ආහාර ලබා ගැනීම කියන මේ අංශ දෙක මතම මන්ද පෝෂණය රඳා පවතිනවා. අධික ජනගණත්වයකිනුත් කුටුම්බගත පරිසර රාමුවක ඉර වෙලා ඉන්න අහිංසක දරුවෝ වගේම විධිමත් අධ්‍යාපනයක් නොලබපු ග්‍රාම්‍ය පවුල් පරිසරවල හිර වෙලා ඉන්න දරුවනුත් උග්‍ර මන්ද පෝෂණ තත්ත්වයන්ට වර්තමානයේ වෙනකොට ගොදුරු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. අනාදිමත් කාලයක් පුරාවටම ලාංකීය පොළොව තලයේ අනාගත ශ්‍රම බලකාය වන දරුවෝ පොහොසත් ආහාර රාමුව තුළින් ගිලිහීම සහ සැඟවුණු කුසගෙන ගැටලු වලට මුහුණ දීම කියන කරුණු හින්දාම උග්‍ර මන්දන පෝෂණ තත්ත්වවලින් ලංකාව මේ වන විට පෙළෙනවා. ඇත්තටම අපි දවසකට ආහාරයට ගන්න ආහාර වේල් තුනෙන් එක් වේලක් විතරක් ආහාර ලබා ගන්නා දරුවන් කෙතරම් ප්‍රමාණයක් ලංකාව තුල ඉන්නවද? සමහර පවුල්වල ආහාරවල විශාල අතිරික්තයක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි සමහර ග්‍රාමීය පවුල්වල ජීවත් වෙන දරුවෝ තමන්ගේ එදා වේල හොයාගන්න නිරන්තර සටනක යෙදෙනවා. අපි මොහොතකට හරි ඔවුන්ට සවන් දුන්නොත් ඔවුන් ළඟ අපිට කියන්න කතා නම් කෙතරම් ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවද? ලංකාවේ සමහර පාසල් පද්ධතියන් තුල පාසල් දිවාහාර වේල ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. හැබැයි ලංකාවේ ජීවත් වෙන සමහර දරුවන්ට තමන්ගේ උදේ ආහාර වේල සහ දිවාහාර වේල මග ඇරෙනවා. සමවයස්වල යාළුවෝ පාසල් විවේක කාලේ තමන්ගේ දිවාහාර වේල ලබා ගන්නකොට තවත් දරුවෝ විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ඒක දිහා බලාගෙන වතුර උගුරක් විතරක් බීලා කුසගින්න නිවා ගන්නවද? මගේ පෞද්ගලික අත්දැකීමක් මම ඔයාලත් එක්ක බෙදා ගන්නම්. මම ඔයාලත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්නේ නවගත්තේගම ප්‍රදේශයේ ඉඳලා. මගේ පාසලේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා ආහාර බැංකුව කියලා සංකල්පයක්. ඇත්තටම අපි ඒකට කියන්නේ බත් බැංකුව කියලා. ඒක තියෙන්නේ ඒක ලොකුවට හදපු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. පොඩි පෙට්ටියක් ඒක. ඒක තියෙන්නේ මගේ පන්තියේ ඉස්සරහා. එක දවසක් අපේ සිංහල සර් අපිට උගන්වගෙන ඉන්නවා. සිංහල සර් උගන්වගෙන ඉන්නකොට ඒකට ගුරුවරු කෑම ගෙනල්ලා දානවා, නංගිලා මල්ලිලා ගෙනල්ලා දානවා, අයියලා අක්කලා දානවා. කෑම දෙකක් ගෙන්න පුළුවන් කට්ටිය ඇවිල්ලා කෑම දානවා. අපිට කොහොම හරි සිංහල උගන්වගෙන ඉන්නකොට අපි දකිනවා චූටි මල්ලි කෙනෙක් දුවගෙන එනවා. දුවගෙන ඇවිල්ලා බලනවා කවුරු හරි කෑම එකක් දාලාද කියලා. හැබැයි එදා ඒ වෙනකන් කවුරුත් කිසිම කෑම එකක් දාලා තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට ආයෙත් උගන්වගෙන ඉන්නකොට අපි දකිනවා ආයෙ අර චූටි මල්ලි අයියත් එක්ක දුවගෙන එනවා. දුවගෙන ඇවිල්ලා බලනවා කවුරු හරි කෑම එකක් දාලාද කියලා. හැබැයි ඒ වෙනකන්වත් කවුරුත් කෑම එකක් දාලා තිබ්බේ නැහැ. කොහොම හරි පාසල් විවේක කාලේ එනවා. අපේ ඉස්කෝලේ තියෙනවා එලිමහන් පන්ති කාමරයක්. අපි දකිනවා මේ අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්නේ එලිමහන් පන්ති කාමරයට වෙලා වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්නවා. අපි සිංහල සර්ව අපි එකතු වෙලා ගිහිල්ලා අහනවා අර චූටි අයියාගෙනුයි මල්ලිගෙනුයි අනිත් යාළුවෝ හැමෝම තමන්ගේ දිවාහාරය ගන්නකොට ඇයි ඔයාලා දෙන්න විතරක් මෙතෙන්ට වෙලා ඉන්නේ කියලා. එතකොට අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්න කියනවා අම්මට උදේ අපිට කෑම අරන් යන්න තරම් දෙයක් ගෙදර තිබුණේ නෑ හදලා දෙන්න කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ සර් අහනවා පුතේ ඔයාලා දෙන්න අද උදේට කෑවද කියලා. එතකොට අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්න කියනවා නෑ සර් අද උදේට කෑවේ නෑ කියලා. ආයෙත් අපේ සර් අහනවා ඔයාලා ඊයේ රෑට හරි මොනා හරි කෑවද කියලා. එතකොට අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්න කියනවා නෑ සර් අපි ඊයේ රෑට මුකුත් කෑවෙත් නෑ කියලා. සර් ආයෙ අහනවා ඔයාලා අඩුම තරමිය දවල්ට හරි මොනා හරි කෑවද කියලා. එතකොට අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්න කියනවා සර් අම්මා දවල්ට කන්න මඤ්ඤොක්ක තම්බලා තිබ්බා කියලා. ඉතින් මේ වෙලාවේ හැටියට සර්ටයි අපිටයි කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ තමයි සර්සගේ සාක්කුවේ තිබ්බ සල්ලි අරගෙන අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්නට දෙනවා කැන්ටිමට ගිහින් මොනා හරි කන්න කියලා. අපි කැන්ටිමට යනකොට අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්න ඉන්දියාප්ප පාර්සලයක් අරගෙන තැනකට වෙලා වාඩි වෙලා එක ලියාගෙන කනවා. පෞද්ගලිකව ඒක මට දකිනකොට මට මාර විදියට සතුටු හිතුණා. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ වගේ පොඩි දෙයකින් සතුටු වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකෙන් හින්දා ළමයි හැමෝම ඉල්ලන්නේ සමානාත්මතාවය කියන සංකල්පය. ඔයාලා දන්නවා ලංකාවේ දැන් පවතින ආර්ථික තත්ත්වයන් එක දෙමව්පියන් තමන්ගේ ළමයිට පෝෂ්‍යදායී ආහාර වේලක් ලබා දෙන එක හරිම අමාරු ක්‍රියාවක්. හිතන්න රුපියල් 5000ක් අරගෙන අඳ කඩේට ගිහපුවම ගන්න පුළුවන් බඩු කීයෙන් කීයක්ද? නවගත්තේගම කියලා කියන්නේ අති දුෂ්කර ප්‍රදේශයක්. නවගත්තේගම කට්ටිය ජීවත් වෙන්නේ ගොවිතැන ජීවනෝපාය විදිහට කරගෙන. ඉතින් මගේ තාත්තා කරන්නේත් ගොවිතැන. ඔයාලා දන්නවා දැන් තියෙන දේශගුණික විපර්යාසات එක්ක නිසි කාලයට වර්ෂාව හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට හැමදාම ගොවිතැන් කටයුතු කරන්න හම්බෙන්නේත් නැහැ. ඉතින් ගොවිතැන් කරන්න පුළුවන් කාලෙට මගේ තාත්තා ගොවිතැන් කරනවා. අනිත් දවස්වලට මගේ තාත්තා කරන්නේ වෙන කෙනෙක්ගේ කුලී වැඩට යනවා. එතකොට දවසට හම්බෙන්නේ රුපියල් 2500යි. ඔයාලා හිතනවාද ඒ රුපියල් 2500න් මටයි අක්කටයි දෙන්නටමත් උගන්නලා අපිට පෝෂ්‍යදායී ආහාර වේලක් ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඇති කියලා. මගේ තාත්තට කුලී වැඩක් හරි තියෙනකොට කුලී වැඩක්වත් නැති දෙමව්පියෝ කොච්චරනම් ලංකාවේ ඉන්නවද? ඉතින් අපි හැමෝම ඉල්ලන්නේ ළමයි වශයෙන් අපි හැමෝටම ආහාරයට ගන්න පුළුවන් සුදුසු ආහාර වේලක් අපේ කෑම මේසය මත තියන්න කියන අහිංසක ඉල්ලීම. ඒ වගේම කුසගින්න සහ මන්ද පෝෂණය කියන කාරණේ අධ්‍යාපන රටාවටත් මහත්සේ බලපානවා. කුසගින්න ඉන්න ළමයෙක්ගේ මානසික මට්ටමත් එක්ක ඔයාලා හිතනවාද ඒ ළමයාට නිසි ආකාරයෙන් තමන්ගේ පාඩම් වැඩ කටයුතු සිදු කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා? හිතන්න පාසල් උදෑසන රැස්වීමක ළමයි කී දෙනෙක් නම් කුසගින්න හින්දා කලන්තේ දාලා වැටෙනවද? ඉතින් අපි හැමෝම ඉල්ලන්නේ පුංචි අපටත් ආදරණීය නැන්දේ මාමේ ඇහුම්කන් දෙන්න. අපේ හඬටත් සවන් දෙන්න. ඉතින් මං ඔයාලගෙන් ඉතාමත් ආදරයෙන් සහ ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලනවා කුසගින්න සහ මන්ද පෝෂණය කියන தત્ත්වය සමස්ත ලංකාවෙන්ම තුරන් කරන්න අපිත් සමග අත්වැල් බැඳ ගන්න සහ අපිත් සමග එකතු වෙන්න කියලා. ඒ වගේම අපිත් ආසය අපි ගාව තියෙන අදහස් ඕගොල්ලොත් එක්ක බෙදා ගන්න. ඉතින් අපේ අදහසුත් අරගෙන කුසගින්න සහ මන්ද පෝෂණය කියන தત્ත්වය අපි සමස්ත ලංකාවෙම තුරන් කරමු. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
They ask for no more than the justice of eating. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, as this campaign launch was being organized, World Vision of South Asia and the Pacific region and World Vision Sri Lanka went out speaking to the children of this country, looking for how they envision child hunger and child malnutrition. Every single one of you has been given a tote bag. I believe every one of you has that. If you reach into that tote bag, there is a notebook. In that notebook, you will find pages of artwork. That artwork. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how the children of this country who are struggling to find food on their table see their hunger. And this is why we're here. So as you take that notebook home, and as you turn the pages of that notebook to write down something, maybe a grocery list, maybe a reminder, keep in mind that in this country, in this region, and in this world, there is a child who is going hungry, and you just need to do enough, and we can end it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the next portion of our agenda. Before that, allow me to please make a small request of the people who are standing in the hallways. Ladies and gentlemen, there's space available for you in the balcony. We do need to clear the hallways for the rest of the program, so if you could please make your way to either the empty seats or the seats on the balcony, we would be ever so grateful. With that, I would like to direct your attention to the screen once more so that you can see just how the Enough campaign came to be.
It's been possible, but that's not the reality.
Nearly 150 million girls and boys are affected by stunting. 45 million children are suffering from wasting. This is getting worse. We've had enough.
Very vital to end akan membawa agen perubahan, akan mengadvokasikan anak-anak juga ke pemerintah agar mereka tidak kelaparan dan
can speak with the food council and government.
Really interested to see the young leaders of Asia Pacific region is coming and talking about this very, very important topic.
So we can actually contribute to national decisions that will impact our future.
The food and nutrition challenges in the country.
One of our flagship program is a school feeding program. And in 2023, we managed to reach almost 4 million school-aged children in the region.
So with the most severely food insecure individuals in South Asia, it is really important that this campaign reaches its highest intensity in this region.
Support that he has showcased, not just for the Enough campaign, but for many of the projects, especially all of the projects that World Vision has executed in this country. And so, I would like to very cordially invite Mr. Vernon Pereira, the Additional Secretary to the Honourable President, to read out the President's message.
Message from the President from Sri Lanka. It is indeed a pleasure to extend warm felicitation for the launch of World Vision's Enough campaign to end child hunger and malnutrition. Childhood is a phase of innocence and discovery, a period dedicated to learning and development, a time when aspirations take root and opportunities appear limitless. Unfortunately, many children in the world are deprived of the opportunity to flourish and reach their full potential due to hunger and malnutrition. As a government, we are sensitive to the needs of our nation's children, particularly those living in marginalized communities, ensuring that every child has access to adequate nutrition and a bright future is of utmost importance to us. We are dedicated to taking proactive measures and implementing sustainable solutions to address this issue effectively. World Vision deserves heartfelt appreciation for their steadfast commitment to serving Sri Lanka's vulnerable communities since 1977. Their tireless efforts in addressing issues affecting children's well-being, in collaboration with the government and stakeholders, are commendable. This campaign is a compelling call to prioritize children's welfare, urging intensified efforts to their well-being. I applaud World Vision for their unwavering commitment to promoting collaboration, innovation, and sustainability of their efforts to ensure that every child has access to adequate nutrition and the opportunity to thrive. Together, let us stand, unite, and clearing enough to child hunger and malnutrition. Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, President, Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Thank you so much.
My next invitation, ladies and gentlemen, is to Honorable Mahinda Amaravera, the Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, whose ministry is extremely important to this campaign because it is agriculture that provides us with food. And so I would like to very cordially invite the Honourable Minister, Mahinda Amaravira, to address the gathering.
It's a great pleasure to be with you at the launch of the Enough campaign, and I'm thankful to the organizing committee and World Vision Lanka for the invitation to participate in this event. Taking the initiative to launch this campaign at the right time that focuses on addressing issues of child hunger and malnutrition by World Vision is really appreciated. We are continuing to explore collaborative efforts in tackling challenges related to child hunger and malnutrition. As the government entrusted with ensuring food security across the island, I believe that some of our existing programs under the Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries can be integrated with the Enough campaign. The vision of the ministry, a vibrant and dynamic agricultural sector for food security and national prosperity. We remain open to explore novel avenues and initiatives. My role is to formulate policies that address issues that people face. We are keen to adopt innovative approaches which address local hunger and introduce new techniques and best practices related to food security. The Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries, unwavering in its commitment to make a significant contribution towards achieving its goals. These objectives enclose the establishment of food and nutrition security, timely execution of projects, and the efficient implementation of accelerated food production programs. Additionally, we are dedicated in ensuring the effective and efficient utilization of foreign funds. I am convinced that the present moment offers a unique opportunity for us to participate in this initiative and safeguard the future of our children in terms of food and nutrition. At present, in our gathering today, over 200 individuals representing diverse entities dedicated to enhance the well-being of children and communities. This diverse assembly provides an excellent foundation for collectively explore every potential opportunity and perspective, fostering inspiration, generating innovative idea, and finding solutions to address the challenges of child hunger and malnutrition. I have the belief that this campaign will act as a collaborative platform uniting us in our efforts to enhance the food security and nutrition of children and our communities for the forthcoming decades. May this collective endeavor contribute towards a tangible transition that steers our country and region towards prosperity. Thank you very much.
With that, we move on to quite an interesting portion of today's agenda, which is the first day cover program. So World Vision, the global organization, has a very firm commitment towards addressing child hunger and malnutrition. If you've been here for the past hour, even if you were new to this organization, if you were here for the past hour, you would know that their commitment towards ending child hunger is excellent. And so World Vision has dedicated a postage stamp to this process. And today will be the very first ceremonial first day cover of this newly launched postage stamp. And so I would like to cordially invite the following individuals on stage to ceremoniously launch this postage stamp, the proceeds of which will go towards ending child hunger. So, I would like to very cordially invite the Postmaster General, Mr. Ruan Satkumara, Mr. Rajitha Ranasinghe, the Deputy Postmaster General, Mr. Sisira Valalavita, Deputy Postmaster General of Western Province South, Mr. Lanka de Silva, Director of the Philatelic Bureau, Mr. PCC Pereira, Divisional Superintendent of Posts of Colombo, Honorable Sampath Athakorala, Member of Sri Lankan Parliament, Engineer Mr. Sisira Wickramaratchi, Personal Assistant to the Prime Minister, Mr. Vernon Pereira, Additional Secretary to the President, Dr. Danan Senadiraja, National Director of World Vision Sri Lanka, Mr. Sherian Thomas, Regional Leader, World Vision South Asia and Pacific, and Ms. Sara Berup, Chief Operating Officer, World Vision South Asia and Pacific, to join us on stage for the ceremonial launching of this first day cover. The message from the Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena, whose support for this program has also been exceptional. So, I would like to cordially invite Dr. Danan Senadiraja, National Director of World Vision Sri Lanka, to read out the Honorable Prime Minister's message.
I'm pleased to convey my best wishes to the launching of the Enough campaign by World Vision, together with partners in the humanitarian and development sector, civil society, local and national organizations, and the international community. We all know that the world is grappling with unprecedented challenges: climate change, economic turbulence, and social inequities, to name a few. Yet within these anxieties lies an immense opportunity, not just recover, but to reimagine and rebuild a Sri Lanka that will not only be prosperous, but also more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. Achieving zero hunger is a monumental task that requires the collaborative efforts of all stakeholders. Strong partnerships, including with communities themselves, will help us realize this vision, aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. I congratulate World Vision for launching the Enough campaign at this very crucial juncture, when there is an alarming increase in the number of children facing hunger and malnutrition. Children's participation is essential to our progress as a nation. We must listen to their voices, value their insights, and actively involve them in decision-making processes that shape their future. Their perspectives today will shape the world they inherit tomorrow. Our approach to achieving food security is anchored in two fundamental pillars: agriculture and health. The Ministry of Agriculture has been at the forefront of the modernization programs aimed at ensuring food security and access to nutritious food for all Sri Lankans. The Ministry of Health plays a vital role in promoting equitable access to nutritious food and addressing the root causes of malnutrition. World Vision has been a very important partner, working closely with the ministries, that is government ministries, and local level authorities to bring about lasting change in the communities they serve. As we embark on this journey, let us draw strength from the resilience of our people and the challenges we have overcome. Let us unite in our commitment to collaboration, innovation, and sustainability, striving towards a future where every child has enough to eat and the opportunity to thrive. Together, we say enough to end child hunger and malnutrition. Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena, Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, 18th March 2024. Thank you.
We now have quite a special little item made ready for your viewing right now. World Vision, as you know, encourages children to express their opinions, and they encourage them to do it in the most creative way possible. Which is why our child leader, Nivatana Situmini, was here, and which is why these young ladies and gentlemen are here as well. These 15 children, who will be on stage in a few minutes, are from the Mundalama and Kalpitiya areas of the northwestern province of Sri Lanka. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, the northwestern province of Sri Lanka is in the arid zone of the country. It is not necessarily the most economically viable province of the nation either. So it was quite important to look at how they perceive this problem that they face on a daily basis, how they perceive the challenges of child malnutrition, or in simpler terms, hunger. These children belong to a miming act, trained by Mr. Ajint Krishantha Seram, who has helped these children perfect their craft. They're here not to say anything, but to mime to you their problem, because no one needs to say the word for you to identify the problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our young, talented performers. weapons of mass destruction, we think Fat Man and Little Boy, we think maybe napalm bombs, we think all these sorts of things, but we never think hunger as a weapon of mass destruction. But it is. It is perhaps the most efficient and most destructive of the weapons of mass destruction that humans have. Let us also not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that to be silent is to be complicit, and you only need to do just enough to help end hunger. Moving forward, as you can see, World Vision places a great emphasis on the role that children play in this campaign. World Vision emphasizes quite a great deal on just how much children have to contribute to concepts like this. We shouldn't resort to just turning to adults to solve problems. Maybe the child that we overlook has a better solution, has a far more creative solution, has a far more interesting solution, maybe sometimes even a far more simpler solution than adults can come up with. And so we place quite a great deal of emphasis on the role that children play. So, children from areas here in Sri Lanka where World Vision serves, because World Vision has a number of regional offices outside of its head offices here in Colombo, children from these areas were asked to send in song lyrics, entries for song lyrics, in a small competition that was aimed around the theme of child hunger, and World Vision went on to receive quite a number of entries from all of its working areas. And from that pool of resources, World Vision ended up selecting one entry in Tamil and one entry in Sinhala. So the main idea of the song lyrics work around this theme of ending child malnutrition and hunger. So the selected song lyric entry for Sinhala came from the Children's Society of Mundalama and Navagattegama, which is a cluster area program of World Vision. And the Tamil lyrics came from the Children's Society of the Bogavantalave area project, which is, once again, an area where World Vision operates. So these two lyrics, sets of lyrics, were then put together and enhanced by the two lyricists, actually, Mr. Chamat Nalaka and Miss Mangyakar C, who is a music teacher also from the Bhagavantalava area program, that area. This went on to become a song. This song was then produced by Ken Lappin and Andrew Wildman, who I believe is also an employee of World Vision himself. World Vision then reached out to 4 of Sri Lanka's most popular and most talented artists to help create, produce, and sing this song. And so they went to Umara Singhavansa, Devashri De Silva, Ridma Veeravardhana, and Billy Fernando, 3 of whom are actually here today to perform this song. All with the exception of Billy Fernando, who I believe is on tour right now, so he won't be joining personally, but he will be joining via video. Now, along with these 4 professional singers, we also have children who sang the chorus of this song, who will be here today performing for you the Enough theme song. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the talented young artists who will be singing the theme song, and the talented artists, Ms. Umara Singhavansa, Ms. Devashri De Silva, and Mr. Ridma Veeravardhana.
එන්න අපි එකතු වෙලා අනාගතය පෝෂණය කරමු.
வாருங்கள் நாம் ஒன்றிணைந்து போஷணை மிகு எதிர்காலத்தை உருவாக்குவோம்.
the office that oversees 10 countries, including Sri Lanka. Over to you, Mr. Thomas.
I think enough has been said on the topic of hunger and malnutrition. I think it's time for us to do something about it. How well the children, through their mime and through the song, have in many ways amplified and so clearly brought out the message. But to just reiterate some critical points as to, one, why we are having this campaign, what is our commitment, and what we think is needed to end child hunger and malnutrition going forward. The first, of course, is something that we've said time and again. The levels of child hunger, malnutrition globally have very, very significantly deteriorated because of conflict, climate, and COVID, the 3 Cs. COVID, which started as a health crisis, snowballed in many places to become an economic crisis. We all know that the levels of malnutrition, stunting, and wasting are highest in terms of number of children. The highest number of children are in the South Asia region. And so there is a fair degree, a high degree of food insecure individuals in terms of numbers as compared to any other place in the world. And this will get only worse if we don't do anything about it. If we don't act now, as we saw in the mime, a generation of vulnerable children will not reach their potential. Too hungry to focus in school, they will not attain the educational outcomes that they need to see. So poor that they may be forced to work. So poor that they may be married off early in the hope that there is one mouth less to feed at home. And that will stop them from reaching their full potential. World Vision exists to serve every child, to ultimately see that every child has fullness of life. And so clearly, it is time to say enough. Every child deserves the food that they need to develop a healthy body and mind. And every family, in that sense, has a right to have enough food on the table. What is our commitment? The commitment in terms of funding in the next 3 years, FY 24 to 26 for the South Asia Pacific region, is close to $250 million. Globally, we would be spending about close to $5 billion in these 3 years, ultimately to the task of ending child hunger and malnutrition. We will work very closely with governments, because most governments certainly are committed to improving the delivery of health and nutrition services. And we commit to be a strong ally of the governments in reaching out to this same goal so that children can reach their full potential. We thank all of you for being our partners in this journey. Together, all of us can ensure that there is enough nutritious food, there's enough funding, there is enough political will, and there is enough to end child hunger and malnutrition. What do we think it takes? We believe it takes a very comprehensive approach, a multi-sectoral approach to ending child hunger and malnutrition. And this is something we've been doing over the years as well. We need to very closely have the right kind of data and make sure that this data is constantly tracked and monitored so that we really would be able to demonstrate how things are changing and how things are improving. We need sustainable food production solutions that are locally accepted by the community and which are environmentally sustainable, which will protect the environment for our children and for future generations. While doing so, we need to clearly ensure the fact that women, who are often seen as the primary caregivers, are adequately empowered to take the needed financial decisions and food allocation decisions in the household. We equally need to address the issues of violence, which can sometimes cause food insecurity among vulnerable children. And most importantly, as we have done today, we need to continue to ensure that children have a platform where they feel safe. They are truly heard as they express their opinions and recommendations. And that is the heart of our new global campaign, Enough, which is all about ending child hunger and malnutrition. So we invite you on this journey with us. Thank you.
Itu adalah suatu kondisi di mana anak itu tidak mendapatkan nutrisi yang cukup sehingga menyebabkan mereka mengalami stunting dan menyebabkan mereka ini bertumbuh secara tidak maksimal.
How can children access healthy food when our source of food is always impacted by the climate change?
I am saddened about this issue because this is one of the social issues happening around the world. Everybody knows it is happening, but it is rarely being prioritized in countries.
Hunger and malnutrition should not be ignored or disregarded.
ළමා නායකයින් විදිහට අපිට මේ ප්‍රශ්නය නැති කරන්න ගොඩක් දේවල්.
Semoga kita pemimpin muda akan membawa agen perubahan, akan mengadvokasikan anak-anak juga ke pemerintah agar mereka tidak kelaparan dan juga
We can speak with the food council and government and research about it.
Industrialized countries must cut down on carbon emissions since we are severely impacted by the climate change, which poses a threat to our only means of survival, which is our natural resources.
Saya ingin menyampaikan sosialisasi tentang malnutrisi dan nutrisi kepada anak-anak di daerah saya sehingga mereka bisa tercukupi dan sadar serta masyarakat dan orang tua beserta dengan pemerintah dan lembaga lainnya.
We're not alone. If we stick together, we can end this.
Enough.
Cukup. Allah khair. Kan. Cukup.
Allah khair.
Tamam.
Enough.
On the ladies and gentlemen, to the panel discussion portion of today's event. We have several eminent personalities who will be here to discuss this issue of child malnutrition and hunger. But allow me first to introduce our moderator of this event, Ms. Vishaka Thilakaratne. She was a project director at the Scaling UP Nutrition People's Forum. She has more than 30 years of experience working in government, private, non-governmental organizations, and even in the United Nations. Her major area of expertise is nutrition, sustainable diets, and community development, with gender as a cross-cutting theme across all of these areas. She has extensive hands-on experience in regional development and in poverty alleviation, with a strong concentration on the improvement of livelihoods. She's also well-versed in policy development, in analysis of policy development, in research, in donor relations, in partnership building, in behavior changes, communications, in capacity building, and even in managing programs from design to post-evaluation. She has been the part of many regional development teams working throughout Asia. She has contributed to many publications and technical documents of national and international interest, such as programs such as those of the United Nations Development Assistance Framework, the MDG Working Group of the Ministry of Finance, the CHAP Working Committee. She was even on the drafting committee of the National Nutrition Policy and Strategy of 2010, and she has held many honorary positions, such as she's also been the past Chief Commissioner of the Sri Lanka Girl Guides Association. So she's a very diversely accomplished individual, and she will be our moderator of the day. So I would like to very cordially invite Ms. Vishaka Thilakaratne on stage to lead this panel.
I would like to call one by one on stage. Iselama ape nivartana situmini diyaniya මම හිතන්නේ ප්‍රධාන කතාවක් කළා ඊටාම අගනා කතාවක් ඊට වැඩි විස්තරයක් කරන්න අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා මේ සාකච්ඡාවට නිවර්තනා සිතුමිනි from the Northwestern Province. You heard where she is from. She is the president of the District Child Federation of that area and is a committee member of the National Child Federation. She is very passionate about advocating issues. මම හිතන්නේ දුව උද්දේශනේ තකා ගොඩක් වැඩ කරනවා ළමා නායිකාවක් හැටියට. We then have Dr. Shiromani Priyankika Edirimana, Additional Secretary, Agricultural Technology, Sri Lanka Agriculture Service. Dr. Shiromani is currently serving as the Additional Secretary, Agricultural Technology at the Ministry. She obtained a doctoral degree at the University of Horticulture and Forestry, Solan, HP, India, and has contributed in many research projects and actively involved with developing new crop varieties. She is the board member of the Sri Lanka Council for Agriculture Research Policy, which is called CARP for short, the Hadabim Authority, EDB, and the Agricultural Technology Institute Valigatta of the University of Colombo, and is the focal point, very importantly, of the recently held 37th session of the APRC, or the Asia Pacific Regional Conference of FAO, held in Colombo in February 2024. I cordially invite Dr. Shiromani to take your seat. Then we have Professor Renuka Silva, well known in the world of research and advice, who is the chair, professor of the Department of Applied Nutrition at the Wayamba University of Sri Lanka. Professor Renuka Silva is currently holding this responsible post, has held many posts in the past, and he has obtained his PhD from the University of Reading, UK. And I, again, don't have to tell you, but he serves on many boards and is involved in a lot of research and is also a consultant to the United Nations. Currently, he is involved in research in improving the consumption of important subject for today, fruits and vegetables, biodiversity and nutrition, household food security, the nutrition status of children, and food literacy, interestingly, of school children. Dr. Chitra Mali De Silva, whom we call Dr. Chitu for short, who qualified in medicine from the University of Peradeniya, and Dr. Chitu has spent a lot of time on the field and in various positions of the Family Health Bureau, currently functions as the director, but also is now the acting Deputy Director General of Public Health Services too. I also invite Dr. Chitu on stage. Then I have my colleague, Mr. Nalin Munasinghe, Assistant FAO Representative, Program for Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Nalin started his professional career in 1993 and he holds a bachelor's degree in agriculture from the University of Peradeniya in the year 2000, specialized in agricultural extension and has a master's degree. He's also a qualified marketeer, interestingly, with a postgraduate diploma in marketing obtained from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIM UK. And Nalin currently spends time in his capacity that was mentioned, but also has worked in different capacities at FAO before. And he's also worked as a consultant for Oxfam Australia and as the business development manager at IUCN. So multifaceted experience. Nalin, we kindly invite you to give your views. And then we also, last but not least, have a great advocate for children, Dr. Rinchen Chopal, Vice Chair, UN Child Rights Committee, Director General, Governing Board Member and a Member Secretary of the South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children. He's a medical doctor by profession and is the Chief Executive of the National Commission for Women and Children, Bhutan. So let us come to some, concrete kind of actions through this panel. But first, let us listen to our child who spoke earlier, I think who made an excellent presentation. අපේ සිතුවිනි දුවට මොනවද තව දුර කියන්න තියෙන්නේ අර කරපු ප්‍රධාන කතාවට අමතරව මොනවද කියන්න තියෙන්නේ තමන්ගේ ගමේ පාසලේ දරුවෝ මේ ආහාර ලබා ගන්නේ කොහොමද ආහාරවල ගුණ තත්ත්වය රසය කැමති දේ කන්න හම්බ වෙනවද වෙලාවට කන්න හම්බ වෙනවද යනාදිය විනාඩි දෙකක් තියෙනවා දුවට
හරි මම මේ මුලින් නවගත් ඒකම ගැන කතා කරන්නම් නවගත් ඒකම කට්ටියන්ට මිස් මගෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවා මේ අපිට ප්‍රමාණවතරම් ඇතිතරම් ආහාර තියෙනවද කියලා ඇතිතරම් ආහාර නෑ නවගත් ඒකම අයට හැබැයි ප්‍රමාණවතරම් ආහාර තියෙනවා උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තාම මම කිව්වා මගේ කතාවේදී මේ නවගත් ඒකම යන්නේ ගොවිතැනත් එක්ක කියලා එතකොට වර්ෂාවත් එක්ක අර දේශගුණික විපර්යාසත් එක්ක වර්ෂාව හම්බෙන්නේ නෑ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට හේන් ගොවිතැන තමයි කරන්නේ හිතන්නකෝ වට්ටක්ක වගේ භෝගයක් අපි හදනවා කියලා එතකොට මේ ඒ වගේ භෝගයක් හදලා විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් කොටුවල විනාශ වෙනවා. කියන්නේ හැමදාම ළමයි කැමති නෑනේ හැමදාම වට්ටක්ක වගේ දෙයක් කන්න. එතකොට එතන ළමයි කැමති ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ විවිධ ආහාර කන්න. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මම පෞද්ගලිකව මං ගැන කිව්වොත් මමත් වෙනත් විදිහ ආහාර කියන්නේ හිතන්නකෝ අපි වැවෙන්නේ කුරක් කන්නම් ඒ කාලයක්ම දිගටම කුරක්කම් වගේ දෙයක්. බත් කියන්නේ බත් නම් කාලයක්ම ඒ කියන්නේ විවිධත්වයකින් ආහාර අනුභව කරන්න තියෙනවා නම් ළමයිට අනිත් එක මේ මම කැමති සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අර මේ මගේ යෝජනාවක් අපිට පුළුවන් ඔය කොටුවල විනාශ වෙන භෝග මේ විචලනය කරලා අපිට පුළුවන් ඒ වගේ දේවල් කල් තබා ගන්න. එතකොට ඒ කාලෙට විතරක් නෙවෙයි ආය අපිට පස්සේ කාලෙකදී ඒක පාවිච්චි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම මේ සාමාන්‍ය කුසගින්න සාමන්ත පෝෂණය තුරන් කරන්න මේ මගේ යෝජනාව කියන්නේ නවගත් එකම අපි කරපු දෙයක් තියෙනවා මේ ළමා සභාව තියෙනවා ළමා සභාවේ අපි කට්ටිය එකතු වෙලා මේ ළමයින්ට ගෙවතු වගා සංකල්පය හඳුන්වලා දුන්නා. අද සමාජ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන තරඟකාරීත්වයේ මත නිතින් අපි ළමයිට කිව්වා අපි ලස්සනම ගෙවත්ත තෝරනවා. හොඳටම කාටද ගෙවත්තක් හදන්න පුළුවන් කියලා තෝරනවා කියලා. ඉතින් එතකොට ළමයියේ තරඟ එතකොට ළමයියේ තරඟකාරීත්වය මත පදනම් වෙලා ලස්සනට ගෙවතු හදලා තිබුණා. එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් තරඟකාරීත්වය පාවිච්චි කරලා ඒගොල්ලන්ව අගය කිරීමක් මගින් ළමයින්ට මේ සංකල්පය ඉදිරියට අරන් යන්න. ඒකෙන් මං හිතනවා යම් ප්‍රමාණයකට කුසගින්න සම්බන්ධ පෝෂණය කියන තත්වය අපිට මගහරව ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා. එතකොට තව නවගත් එකම ගැන කතා කරොත් අපිට පුළුවන් අර කොටුවල විනාශ වෙන භෝග විනාශ කියන්නේ අර අතිරික්තය අර පොඩි වෙන්නේ නැතුව එළවලු පළතුරු නිසි ආකාරයෙන් වෙළඳ පොළට ගේන්න ක්‍රමවේදයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒකත් මං හිතනවා හොඳ දෙයක් වෙයි කුසගින්න සහ මන්දපෝෂණය කියන තත්ත්වය තුරන් කරන්න.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි. මං හිතන්නේ බඩගින්න ගැන නිකම්ම කතා කරගෙන ඉන්නවට වඩා ඊටාම ධනාත්මක විදිහට විසඳුම් කීපයක් යෝජනා කරා විශේෂයෙන් ළමයින්ට කරන්න හැකි. See actually it's very heartening not just to flog the problem but to say what the solutions are and also what the child's role in the solution is. And මං හිතනවා මේ ආහාර තාක්ෂණයේ පැත්තටවත් යයිද දන්නේ නැහැ අනාගතයේදී නේ. She may go into the area of food technology in her future life. බොහොම ස්තුතියි. We next have, very importantly, Dr. Shiromani, who is the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture. Madam, can you share with us an overview how the Sri Lankan government has ensured the nutrition-sensitive approach in agriculture and also considering climate change and policies that have direct impact on our children? It's a very interesting point of view, agriculture and our children.
Nutrition-sensitive agriculture means food-based agriculture, especially for the diverse and enough foods and also safe foods and nutrient foods. All together we have to discuss about that point. And when we consider our policy in agriculture ministry, our responsibility is the production of food for the nation. To feed the nation, our aim is to produce foods. So for that, we have developed the agriculture policy. So in this one, we mainly focused 8 goals. I will know enough on all these goals, but I will explain the one and the most important one. That is the achieving self-sufficiency of all our food crops by increasing productivity. This is our main goal of the ministry. So it includes that we know that our staple food is rice. So now, as even our minister says, now we are self-sufficient in rice. But about 2-3 years back, we had a problem. Our production dropped down drastically, and we imported some rice from other countries, and we got some support from other countries. But now in last year, we again came to the previous level. That is, from this last year, we again self-sufficient from rice. Now we need to increase that one and maintain it continuously, not only this year or last year. We want to maintain it continuously because we have some other challenges. Like you mentioned that we have climate change challenges, and therefore some years we are getting low yields, and therefore we now want to increase our productivity of rice and maintain even not only the requirement for yearly requirement, we need to maintain a buffer stock for the future. So that is our aim for the rice production. And also next, when we move to the other crops like maize, because in this one actually we need more diverse foods, not only rice. It's not only rice is not nutritious. So we want to give other foods for our children, even not the children, all our population. So we need to produce the other crop is maize. We are targeting the increased productivity of maize and self-sufficient from maize, because maize is one of the component of the infant food, especially portion that of the foods. So it's very important to increase the productivity of the maize. And similarly, that the maize is used for the animal feed. So animal protein is very important for the nutrition security of our child and also the old people. So therefore, we now aim into self-sufficient on maize to increase the productivity of even the animal protein production. And next group is the legumes or pulses. This is also very important because it's the source of plant protein. So we need to increase that productivity of this crop and self-sufficient from all these crops, especially that like green gram, which is again the ingredient of the triposha. So we need to increase the productivity. And the next is the vegetables. Very important, the vegetable, as this dot also told that the vegetable is very important because it gives not only that, like others, carbohydrate and protein, but we get it from that minerals, vitamins, and maybe the dietary fibers. So therefore, we need to increase the productivity of the vegetable crop also. At present also, we are producing all our vegetable requirement in the country. But due to that climate change effects, at some drastic climatic situation, our production fluctuate. In some times we get very good yield, but in some period our yields are very low. So therefore the prices are increasing and we have problem. Now we have aimed to develop the vegetable industry by introducing new technologies and maybe the precision agriculture technologies. So that is the aim of our for the vegetable sector. And next, the fruits. Fruits is very important for in child nutrition. It's very important. So it gives us the minerals, vitamins, and even the antioxidants. So we need to increase the productivity of the fruit crops also. We have a very good program for the fruit crops. We are producing not only the major fruit like papaya, pineapple, or a banana. We need to improve the other fruit crop varieties because they have a more nutrition component in these other fruits. So this is the program totally we are targeting in the next maybe the 5-10 years to address that situation, because we want to focus on reduce the malnutrition, stop the malnutrition of the country. So the agriculture ministry has a biggest role for that one. And now actually we are getting support from some other the organizations, especially like FAO or other organization for that one. But even we are using our own money in the ministry, the country money, for the development of these programs. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. මම හිතන්නේ අපේ සිතුමිනි දුව ඇහුණා. අපි අනාගතයේදී ආවිල්ලා මේක පසුවිපරම් කරලා බලනකොට බඩගින්නක් තියෙන්නට බෑ. මොකද ගොඩක් වැඩසටහන් කරන බවට විශේෂයෙන් ආහාර කාණ්ඩ හැටියට විස්තර කළා මොනවද කරන්නේ කියලා. Thank you, madam. And then we have Professor Renuka Silva. You and your team conducted a very useful set of studies and recommendations on mainstreaming nutrition in agriculture, which was supported by FAO. How do you feel your findings and recommendations are activated? It will be very interesting to know.
Thank you, Isaka. Now I'm representing university, so not any ministry, so then I can express my feelings and the findings independently. So we did some work and looking at the involvement of agriculture sector in the or how they integrate nutrition in their programs, and also their breeding programs or their extension programs and their other agricultural cultivation programs. And also we talk with the farmers and the different stakeholders throughout the food system chain. And we found that none of them have paid the due attention to nutrition, although she said that in future they are going to do more work, but current finding is that very little emphasis paid on the things like the biofortification. We couldn't find any identified crops for the biofortification except a few varieties of rice that the Rice Research Institute started to develop, but we know that it takes time and a lot of funding is required. And when we ask from the farmers, so that's the other side of the farmers are not only the producers, but they are also consumers. Farmers never think about nutrition when they grow. Now this the student said that she saw a lot of cultivation of pumpkin and then get wasted because it's overproduction. So I think farmers never grow pumpkin thinking that pumpkin has vitamin A. But if they got high price in the previous season, they go for the same crop again and again, even ignoring what the Department of Agriculture is asking them to do. So that's our agriculture. And I want to tell you, according to the world, just one example because of the time limitation, World Health Organization asks us to eat 400 grams of fresh fruits and vegetables. Do you think that we produce that amount according to the food balance sheets? Per capita, not the consumption, availability, the raw form is far below, well below the requirement. It's about 200 and less than half of the requirement if you just look at the crude data given in the food balance sheet. So fruits and vegetables, which prevents cardiovascular disease, diabetes, as well as the children's malnutrition, are not produced by us. But I have to tell here, with these agriculture officers here, I think it's good that we achieve the self-sufficiency in rice, but now it is enough. We have to concentrate on other crops. The pulses, fruits, vegetables, as she correctly said. So now it's time to think beyond rice, and we cannot boast all the time that this is rice-eating nation and rice doesn't give everything required by our human body. So whatever the action taken by the Department of Agriculture should have an integrated part of nutrition. When they do home gardening, nutrition must be considered, not just grow and grow, that's the usual message given, but no, think about nutrition, think about the nutrition of the child, and then grow the crops in the home, even in the home garden.
Thank you very much, Professor Renuka, very, very useful, and you have got to the core of the problem. And to Madam Shiromani, let me just say that Renuka and I are both from the Nutrition Society of Sri Lanka, and way back in 2014, and I flag this all the time, we actually kind of provided a methodology to have a 10-year plan for food security based on the metabolic demand of the different age groups. අවශ්‍යතාවය අනුව, පෝෂණ අවශ්‍යතාවය අනුව. And we also have now the updated food-based dietary guidelines, done very robustly after a technical review, again, Professor Renuka Silva and the team, and we have also done diet modeling and found the gaps. And to make good on the food-based dietary guidelines for everyone, and most importantly, children, I think we need to work together as a team and get these ideas. Sorry, madam, to say you were not in the driving seat then, but the Ministry of Agriculture said that they don't need any society to promote a plan, that the Agriculture Ministry knows it all. I'm sorry to have to tell this, but that's a fact. So thank you. Let's move on to Dr. Chitu. Dr. Chitu, how easy, because data is most important and information is most important to make decisions, especially for children. How easy it is to access information related to child nutrition status at the sub-regional levels and below for all stakeholders to conduct their programs, because you are the custodian of this very important piece of work.
Thank you very much for invitation. So we are actually, the child nutrition or the maternal nutrition is embedded into our maternal and child health program in Sri Lanka. So in this, we have a huge database which is generated right from the midwife level upwards. So this data is fed into an electronic database system from the it's not from the midwife level, but from the MOH level. MOH is the second level, which is coincided with the divisional secretary areas. So their data is submitted or transferred to the MOH office on paper-based system, and then from there we have the electronic database system which is fed into the electronic, we call it ERHMIS. The data comes to the district level, provincial level, and the national level to the Family Health Bureau. So that is how the routine growth monitoring information of mothers and children, under 5 children mainly. And also we have a school health information system where when the school medical inspections are conducted by the MOHs, again we have an e-based system The data is generated up to sent to the MOH level. From the MOH level, the data is entered into the electronic system and it is sent up to the national level. So that is how the routine data is generated. But in addition to that, we conduct a nutrition month special activity every year. Last year we did the last nutrition month activity in June. Now this year also we are planning to do it in June. Hopefully the environment will be feasible. And the funding, of course, we don't need much money, but UNICEF generally agreed to provide funds for the Nutrition Month activities, where we measure each and every under 5 child by the midwives in a selected small areas like weighing center. They call all the under 5 children to that particular place. And during this month, all the children and also the school, we cannot cover all the school children, but at least in selected schools, at least population-based estimate that we can get, we identify the schools and get the measure the school children nutritional status also, and that data we published in our website. So we have a dashboard in our Family Health Bureau website. Anyone can access to this data right up to the MOH level, but the data is available at the midwife level, at the MOH office. So if there is any request from anyone who want to access this data is available, but we have to get the approval from the Regional Director of Health Services of the district and the MOH office. And the data can be shared with any donors or anyone to identify who are the children with severe acute malnutrition, who need donations, who need some food assistance. So that is available at the midwife level. We have already released the data sharing policy signed by the Secretary Health. So all the RDHSs and the PDHSs are aware about the data release policy. So the data is accessible, and you can even go to the website and see last year total nutrition month data report is available in our website.
Thank you very much. It's really, there is a lot of development in accessing the data now. Earlier we had to go, with documents and look for it, but there has to be some sort of protocol, as you say, because data also cannot be used lightly.
Cannot be misused.
Misused and used responsibly, but I think it's heartening for the programmers that you can actually access the data. Now we turn to Nalin Munasinghe. Is FAO, very short question, is FAO considering child-focused nutrition in your technical support programs for the country? Are you doing it now, or do you hope to do that in the future?
So all what we do, even though we might not directly address children, but our address is basically onto the common platform. So all our projects, programs that we do in the country with the government are directly based and targeted on the population of this country. And obviously, children are included. As we all know, on the ground, we have a big problem in the country because we don't see that lands are getting, bigger or increased. We are dependent on the available land, and day by day, we all know the amount of land that is available is also becoming lesser and lesser. And on top of that, climate change acts as a big, threat for the global food production, and it is now being impacted to Sri Lanka as well. It's not, it's not new to Sri Lanka. So with all these problems only, the government and all stakeholder agencies, with the support of many, are trying to produce little food. I agree with Madam, I agree with Professor Renuka. Obviously, if you talk about the availability in this country, there is a problem. But even with the available food, I should ask whether they are accessible to our nation, our people. They're very expensive. People even don't know what you exactly mean when it comes to nutrition. A balanced diet you don't see. So it is not only the availability of the food, but it's also the knowledge that people have. Whether you really know how to pick your food depending on the money that you have. So therefore, knowledge is important, availability is important. When you don't have the products available, simple economics, brings the prices high. And we have all these problems, and this is why FAO's main mandate for the next couple of years, at least to the 5 years, our main mandate would definitely support the national productivity enhancement and efficiency in production. And with that, we hope that people will have more food and we will consider whether those food will become more nutritious to the people as well. And on the 4 pillars of FAO, better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better lives at the end of the day. So one pillar is the better nutrition. All our efforts will consider in future more and more nutritious based food production techniques. Thank you.
Thank you very much. දැන් අපේ දුවට ඇහෙන්න ඇති මං හිතන්නේ මෙච්චර දුර අපි ඩොක්ටර් ඉන්චන් එක කතා කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා දුන්න පොරොන්දු සහ වගකීම් ඉෂ්ට කරන විදිය. අපේ FAO එකේ නලින් මහතා කිව්වා ඊළඟ අවුරුදු වල ඵලදායීතාවය පෝෂණය වඩා හොඳ ගුණ තත්ත්වයක් ජීවිතවලට ඒ විදිහට තමයි වැඩසටහන් දියත් කරන්න කියලා. ඒකම අපේ වෛද්‍ය චිත්‍රමාලි කිව්වා දත්ත ගැන. ළමා දත්ත විශේෂයෙන් අවුරුදු 5ට අඩු අය පාසල් දරුවන්ගේ දත්ත පෝෂණ දත්ත ඕගොල්ලෝ හැදෙන හැටි ඕනෙම කෙනෙකුට පුළුවන් දැන් වෙබ්සයිට් එක බැලුවම ඒක ඇක්සස් කරන්න. ඒ එක්කම අපේ මහාචාර්ය රේණුක සිල්වා කිව්වා ග්‍රෑම් 400ක් අපි එළවලු පළතුරු පලා කන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට අපි ඉදිරියට වැඩ කරන්නට ඕනේ. දැනට ඒක ඇත්තටම ඒ අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රමාණයට නැහැ කියන එක. ඒකම අපේ අතිරේක ලේකම්තුමිය කිව්වා ඒකට සෑදී පැහැදී සිටිනවා කියලා. So last but not least, let us turn to Dr. Rinchen. Recently, Dr. Rinchen in the UNCRC launch, General Comment number 26. Can you give us a short overview of this GC General Comment 26 and how it is important to, in relation to child hunger, assuring child hunger and malnutrition? Over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator. I also extend my greetings to my panel members and to all the distinguished guests. I bring you greetings from Bhutan, from the small Himalayan nation. And symbolically, I think I'm speaking from the Himalayan mountains and speaking to an event that's happening in an island nation. So that itself speaks volumes of the issue that we are dealing with relation to climate change. It was quite a privilege to listen to all the panelists, and therefore having raised all critical pressing concerns related to issues of malnutrition as well as food security and cropping patterns, impact of climate change by all others, including the issues of data and the need for behavioral change and policy interventions. Let me concentrate myself to the question asked and within the domain of the CRC committee and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Now, children's rights to adequate nutrition are addressed under Article 24.2 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And in this provision, state parties recognized the right of the child to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health and agreed to combat disease and malnutrition through the provision of adequate nutritious foods. So this is definitely a very clear statement. This means that under international human rights law, combating hunger and malnutrition is a legally binding human rights obligation for all the countries that ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which means every country in the world, except, of course, the United States. The challenges related to child hunger in the world are not new, as you all elaborated. However, new circumstances that has in the recent past deepened what was already a very complex situation. At present, child hunger is worsened due to extreme poverty, government inactions in many cases, the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, the effects of climate change, of course, and sadly, due to armed conflicts. And I'm sure you all are aware of what's happening in Sudan, what's happening now in Gaza, and many other countries where conflict directly contributes to child hunger, food shortage, and malnutrition. For the CRC committee, there are three mechanisms of the committee that can be used to tackle the issue of children's right to adequate food. The first mechanism is the recommendations provided by the committee in the form of concluding observations. These are powerful instruments where the questions and concerns raised by the committee about the children's rights situation in countries can exert pressure on governments and foster the implementation of the recommendations nationally. Secondly, the optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child on a communications procedure. Through individual communications, children can lodge complaints to the committee alleging to be victims of a violation by a state party. This is another area that needs to be, promoted and exploited to the extent feasible. Now, the general comments are the third mechanisms. These documents provide legal guidance on the state's obligations under the CRC. The committee is convinced that it is a long-awaited interpretive guidance that comes just at the right moment, and I'm referring to General Comment 26 on children's rights and environment with special focus on climate change. The signs of the global climate and environmental crisis are becoming frequent, increasingly alarming, and this GC does not only guide on the challenges for the realization of children's rights, it also makes a link to the existing and evolving norms, principles, and obligations under international environmental law, such as Paris Agreement, as well as national and regional legal developments and jurisprudence. In General Comment 26 on children's rights and the environment with special focus on climate change, for example, the committee asserted that states should immediately transform industrial, agriculture, and fisheries to produce healthy and sustainable food aimed at preventing malnutrition and promoting children's growth and development. The legal guidance given by the Committee on General Comments can then be used to substantiate strategic litigation proceedings in the national sphere. This general comment, because it clarifies states' obligations to take legislative, administrative, and other appropriate measures to ensure the child's right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment, we send from the committee a very clear message that the states must refrain from violating children's rights by causing environmental harm and protect children against environmental damage, including by regulating business enterprises. States are also under the obligation to prevent and remedy the impacts of environmental hazards that affect children's rights.
Thank you very much,
This
Dr.
general
Rinchen.
comment-
Yeah, we are running a little short of time. Sorry
Okay,
to interrupt
so let
you.
me, anyway, I'm at the end.
Yes.
In any case, the international community needs to immediately support the national authorities in guaranteeing the rights of millions of children to live, grow, and thrive in an environment free from hunger. And I want to conclude by underlining that any measure we undertake must ensure the institutionalized, active, and meaningful participation of children and youth in the activities, including this Enough campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you very much. It's unfortunate that our political leadership is not present at this moment, and they had to go for various meetings, but I think we really need to communicate this. මම හිතන්නේ අවසානයේට අපේ දුවගෙන් අහන්න ඕනේ දැන් මේ කියපු දේවල් කොහොමද ළමා නායිකාව නායකයෝ හැටියට කරනවද කියලා හොයලා බලන්නේ. පුතාලගේ අධීක්ෂණය නැත්තම් මේ සොයා බැලීමක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ මේවා කරනවද කියලානේ. කොහොමද එක් කරන්න යන්නේ? ඊටාම කෙටියෙන් අපිට කියන්න.
අපිට පුළුවන් අපේ ළමා සමාජ සහ ළමා සභා කියලා පිටුවලා තියෙනවනේ. අපිට පුළුවන් ඒක දිස්ත්‍රික් මට්ටමින් ජාතික මට්ටමින් ඉඳන් දිස්ත්‍රික් මට්ටමට ඇවිල්ලා ඒකේ ප්‍රාදේශීය මට්ටමට දක්වා ඒක අරගෙන යන්න. මේ වගේ දේවල් වලදී අපිට පුළුවන් විදියට යෝජනා අපිටත් ඒකට දායක වෙලා ඒවා අපිට පුළුවන් අපේ විදිහකට අනිත් අයට ළමයි අතර ප්‍රසිද්ධ කරන්න. ඉතින් මං හිතනවා මොකක් හරි එහෙම යෝජනාවක් තියෙනවා නම් අපිට පුළුවන් විදියට ළමා නායකින් විදියට තරුණ නායකයෝ විදියට දායකත්වය දක්වන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
Bhumi Stuti, thank you very much. Daughter gave a very good, suggestion that they can actually monitor whether the promises are delivered through the Children's Club mechanism. Thank you very much to everyone. I think it's very interesting, and let's hope that the next time we meet, we have concretized action to say enough. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, today marks the launch of the Enough campaign for Sri Lanka and World Vision South Asia and the Pacific region. So we have all 10 country directors of the region that is South Asia and Pacific present here in the audience today. So today they are going to ceremonially pledge their commitment towards this campaign to end child hunger, because the Asia-Pacific region is home to half of the world's undernourished population. So 74.5 million children under the age of 5 are suffering from stunting. 31.5 million children were affected by wasting in this region alone. And therefore, this campaign, which is a joint launch today as well, all the 10 country directors are here, present here today, to pledge their commitment to this campaign. So I would like to very cordially invite the country directors of the following countries up on stage. World Vision Bangladesh, World Vision India, World Vision Indonesia, World Vision Nepal, World Vision Papua New Guinea, World Vision Philippines, World Vision Solomon Islands, World Vision Sri Lanka, World Vision Timor-Leste, and World Vision Vanuatu.
I'm Suresh Bartlett, representing World Vision in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, over 24% of children under 5 are stunted. Over 11% of children experience wasting. Over 52 million people in Bangladesh experience various levels of food insecurity, from severe to moderate. Bangladesh says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
I'm Madhav Bellamkonda, National Director and CEO of World Vision India. It breaks my heart to witness children facing stunted growth and lack of opportunities due to malnourishment. World Vision India plans to reach 2 million children through our nutrition program. India says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
I'm Angel Theodora from Wahana Visi, Indonesia. Malnutrition is still negatively affecting the children of Indonesia. Latest national data show that 21.6% of children under 5 in Indonesia still experience stunting, 17.1% underweight, and 7.7% wasting. Ensuring that every girl and boy is well nourished and enjoy good health is very important to Wahana Visi Indonesia. Addressing children's vulnerability requires multi-stakeholder approaches to solve nutrition and food security issues. Indonesia says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
Good afternoon. I'm Rosalind Gabriel, National Director for Nepal. In Nepal, only 56% of infants are exclusively breastfed up until 6 months of age. This poor start to nutrition is leading to 1 in 4 children experiencing stunting and not fully growing and developing to their full potential. In Nepal, World Vision is working alongside health and community volunteers to ensure that children are having growth monitoring, we're determining if they are malnourished or not, and then we're providing counselling and promotion of exclusive breastfeeding and good nutritional behaviours. Nepal says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
Hello, my name is Chris Jensen. I'm the National Director of World Vision in Papua New Guinea. When 1 in 6 children in Papua New Guinea are wasted, 1 in 4 are underweight, and over half the children are stunted, we are facing a huge challenge in addressing this issue. We're calling on a multi-sectoral approach to combat child hunger, and we're calling on collective efforts to scale up nutrition. In Papua New Guinea, we call enough. Let's end child hunger together. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is June Godornes,
from the Philippines. I'm the Interim National Director of World Vision. An expanded national survey done in the Philippines showed that more than 26% of our children are stunted and 5.5% are wasted. World Vision works to rehabilitate children's health. And we do this by capacitating schools, making sure that they're able to respond to infectious diseases and to disasters as well. We want to reach 29.8 million vulnerable children through the Enough campaign. So Philippines says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Nadabdab, representing World Vision Solomon Island. In Solomon Islands, 30% of children experience stunted growth due to inadequate access to nutritious food. Seeing stunted children is a constant reminder that we have a critical role to play in ensuring that every child gets the chance to thrive. World Vision Solomon Island is combating hunger and malnutrition by providing vital nutrition support, nutrition program, and interventions to improve children's health and well-being. Solomon Island says enough. Let's end child hunger and malnutrition now.
I'm Danan Senathraja, National Director, World Vision Lanka, or Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the second highest rate of acute malnutrition for children under the age of 5, and the second highest in South Asia. At least 17% of the children in Sri Lanka are suffering from chronic wasting. 2.9 million children are in need of urgent humanitarian assistance. World Vision Lanka recognizes the importance of school meal programs, climate-resilient home gardens and agricultural practices, and mother support groups in our collective fight to end child hunger and malnutrition. Sri Lanka says enough, let's end child hunger and malnutrition.
Hello, I'm Jared Behrens, National Director of World Vision Timor-Leste. Hunger and malnutrition are stubborn development challenges in Timor-Leste, a country where 47% of children are chronically malnourished, causing stunting. This is one of the highest rates in the world. My heart's desire is to see every child in Timor-Leste live a full and happy life. And this can only happen when these children have access to food and nutrition. World Vision in Timor-Leste works to provide children with safe, nutritious food. Along with our partners, we provide access to healthcare, and we also provide access to safe, clean drinking water. Timor-Leste says enough. It's time to end child hunger and malnutrition in Timor-Leste.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Clement Chipokolo, and I am the country director of World Vision Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a beautiful country in the South Pacific. Against the backdrop of that beauty, sadly, about a third of Vanuatu's children are suffering from stunting. About 5% of those children are actually wasted. That's a sad statistic. However, World Vision in Vanuatu continues to work with its partners and collaborators in trying to address the structural issues that affect the access and availability of food in Vanuatu. We'll continue and are committed to working to reduce these barriers through the collaborative efforts of all our partners. Vanuatu says enough, and indeed it is enough. Thank you.
With that, we move forward to one of the most important moments of today's launch. As evidenced today across the program, World Vision believes in the capacity that children have to provide creative and innovative solutions to problems that we as adults cannot. So, World Vision Sri Lanka went out and opened the forum for children's societies across their program areas here in the country to submit innovative ideas and creative solutions to raise nutritional levels in their villages. Out of all the proposals that were chosen, that were sent in, 3 have been selected, and today World Vision will pledge 1 million rupees to 3 selected proposals. Winning the 3rd place is the proposal sent in from the Meghakula area program. I would like to very cordially invite Ms. Catherine Yee to present this pledge of 200,000 rupees to the area program manager of Meghakula and the 2 children who were part of this 3rd place winning proposal. Place out of all these proposals that were sent in was the proposal that was sent in from the Kandavale area program. So I would like to very cordially invite Ms. Sara Berup, Chief Operating Officer for World Vision South Asia and Pacific, to present this pledge of 300,000 rupees to the area program manager of Kandavale and 2 children who were involved in this proposal. I would like to very cordially invite Operations Director of World Vision Lanka, Mr. Shiron Pereira, on stage to present the pledge of 500,000 rupees to this winning proposal. And I would like to cordially invite the area program manager of the Patana area and the 2 children who were involved in the writing of this proposal to accept this token. To the child performers that we had here today. Final invitation of the day is to Ms. Sara Berup, Chief Operating Officer for World Vision South Asia and Pacific, to propose the vote of thanks.
Ayubowan, what an incredible event, I'm sure you would agree. It's hard to close such an event when I think everything has been said. I think the most striking thing to me today is that we have enough. We have the talent. We have the extraordinary voices and passion of children. We have the commitment of government. We have the skills, the mindsets, the shifts of paradigm and attitude. We have an extraordinary sense of collective action in this room, and I truly believe we can create that across the whole region. It is a real privilege to bring this event to a close, and I do want to thank a few people. First, heartfelt gratitude to the children that have contributed. I'm sure you would agree their voices have just been incredible, very passionate. I also want to thank Danan and his World Vision Sri Lanka team for the extraordinary efforts you've made bringing this together. I also thank all our government dignitaries, esteemed guests, leaders of agencies, also respected religious clergy, and also all our panel members for your contributions and your presence here today. I also want to thank our esteemed colleagues in the region. It is a real delight to be here with you. We've got a big job to do, but you know what? We can do it. We are enough. And I think the collective effort of our talents and passions will be enough. Let us not forget that every shared meal, every act of kindness, every advocacy effort brings us closer to that brighter, healthier future for all. And we just need to do enough. Finally, just to say that our collective mission is to illuminate the faces of those silently suffering. It is a desperate thing to suffer silently. So our job is to give voice, is to illuminate those needs, those fears, those pains. And we will find solutions together. And I'm so excited about the role of children and youth in finding those solutions together. And just lastly, I think we know that it's not only a sense of inspiration today, but it is humbling, it's sobering. You know, we cannot expect a child to go to bed hungry and dream and hope for their future. We can't expect that if they're hungry. We can't expect a child to go to school and learn with empty bellies. We simply cannot expect that. So there's a determination I think we are building together, and with that comes a great deal of emotion. So in conclusion, I thank you for being with us today, walking this journey. We've got a long way to go, but we can do it together. And we appreciate you being here. Thank you, Nandri.
Thank you, Ms. Barab. When people were hungry, Jesus did not ask, now is this social or is this political? He said, let me feed you. We ask for no more than the justice of eating. We have highlighted 3 main focal points that creates child hunger: climate change, COVID-19 and its effects, and conflict. Every gun that is fired, every warship that is launched, every rocket signifies a theft. Hopefully, we wish World Vision and its partnering programs and communities and every other stakeholder in this program the very best in their mission to ending child hunger. There are a few quick announcements before I let you go. There are 2 stalls outside. The first of these stalls is on health and nutrition, and this stall, it captures the essence of the work that World Vision Lanka has been doing, is currently doing as well in the field to address hunger and malnutrition through their technical programs, which have created meaningful partnerships with support groups such as the Mother Support Group, so you can walk into their stall and look at the work that World Vision Lanka has been doing in the field. The second stall is on livelihood and economic development, and it looks at how World Vision Lanka's interventions with the communities and other stakeholders address the various components of food security, such as availability, accessibility, utility, and stability. So it looks at how families and communities can be empowered in terms of household resilience and income generation. So I invite you to visit these stalls to look at the work that has been done on the field by World Vision Lanka. With that, I would also like to especially highlight and thank Brian over here, who has been doing a wonderful job in terms of creating an inclusive event, and our translators and other support staff who are working behind the scenes today as well. We thank them for the work that they have been doing. That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of today's program, but not to the end of the war. That's it from me for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.